Everybody, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. It is Weasel Wednesday. I hope you're ready for some mouse guard. I know I sure am. Omni, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great, pal. Hello, everyone out there. I'm the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American, and we are back with yet more Mouse Guard the Frontier. Thank you all for tuning in, as always. And we are just going to go through, do our usual recap. So, who wants to get some Persona and Fate points today?
I always go first. Natalie, you can go first.
Okay. So last session was just kind of a lot of preparation and planning. We learned that we will need to either kill the hawk that rules over the small subset of the owl territory. We'll either need to kill him, ensnare him in some way, or find another way to break his bonds, which we don't really know of. So we did some planning, and Sayana commissioned some mice in the party to make some stealthy outfits for her mice. So we're going to look like leaves. We'll use that to our advantage. And there's also some talk of setting up a snare or possibly using the cannons that I think it's the hedgehogs that have them.
Indeed.
So might use that. I'll let Derek finish off.
I went to sleep. I met with the vicar. He and I talked for a long time off screen, and then when we came back, he was like, all right, well, that's enough talking about the future. Let's talk about the here and now. Here's what I can do for you. And he gave me one use of his bite, which I will use to kind of screw the hawk a little bit. I'm gonna play the part of bait, and when he comes down, swooping down with his big meaty claws, I'm going to let him take me, twist in just the right way so that I can bite him. And then I'm gonna hopefully have my friends back me up. And then Sayana has to deliver the final bop.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I got an enchantment type deal from Cedric, and he did that on my weapon. So if I have the final bop, then the hawk will be under our control.
That sounds good to me. While I'll also speak for our friend not present, Giles had himself gone through and commissioned the creation of a snare to grab the hawk to hopefully mobilize it, or sort of in capture it in case it's needed. Hopefully to bring it down to the earth if it can be lured towards it. And, basically combination of Dukan's bite and snare will lead to eventually Sayana getting the bop in. And this appears to be the big plan. I also wanted to very quickly send some love to Red, who is not going to be joining us today. Our boy is taking a little time away, and I support him entirely in this decision. So,
100%.
Yeah. So Giles will be present, but will do like usual, taking a bit of a back seat in this episode. When a player's not here, that's how I tend to run it. So, if that's the case, then we should probably pick up pretty much where we left off, because as I recall, we picked up in the early morning on a rock overlooking a large field, and in the distance, a large pair of wings cresting over the morning sky. And on top of that rock is everyone's favorite weasel, Dukan Diamondback.
Dun-dun-dun.
Staring down what is arguably probably one of the biggest threats he's ever faced, a dire falcon.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah. You're good, buddy. No worries. So, I have mentioned it in the past, but I feel like it would be remiss of me to not mention it again, that the natural order, as would normally be seen in this game, puts hawks and owls roughly 2 steps above a mouse. But this one is so big, he sits more on par with coyotes and otters. He is literally so large that you need unique battle strategies to even begin to engage him safely. Because Seer, the red-shouldered baron, is a dread falcon, or in this case, a dreadhawk would be the proper term. A hawk swollen with the power of his people and the ancestral right to rule, thus granting him some terrifying measure of power that the creatures back where you've come from don't possess. And so, as Seer's wings approach, we're going to do a brief flashback, just a tiny one, to earlier in the day. Sienna, I believe, as I recall, you had your troops getting into position, getting camouflage, and your shield bearers, also now being called by many of the mice Sienna's shield bearers, are more or less in position. You have ghillie suited up, and they have camouflaged their shields, making what looks like a convincing rock when all their shields are held up in testudo. And you are concealed behind there. I'm curious. You're trying to go for maximum stealth, right? Okay.
Correct.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to need you to make me a scout roll. On top of that, I'm also willing to give you rocky terrain-wise for this.
Okay, awesome. Okay, scouts. I have 3. I did that wrong.
7 divided by d6. Let's go. 1.4.
Sick, let's go.
What kind of math game is that? Oh God, get it out of here!
And now there's a weird part of me that wants to make a game that requires that you divide the results of your dice just to punish people.
Oh my gosh.
Never.
No.
That feels like the kind of game that you'd introduce to children in fucking 6th grade math to get them to learn their division tables. Okay, cool. So that is 2 successes after the traitor is subtracted. So, okay.
Trying to think if I want to explode the 6.
I'm going to roll, and we're going to see whether it's going to be relevant for you, because I don't want you to waste more resources than you're going to need. It's already going to be a hell of a fight for you, folks. As I flip over here.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay. So looking at this, for him, he has a total... I'm going to need the advanced dice roller a lot today, I tell you what. I'll tell you what. Here we go. Okay. He has 2 successes. So at the moment, you are even. And thank you, Naris, for the posture check
Yes, thank you.
in hydration. Cheers.
Cheers.
So the real question is, do you wish to explode? Because you are even right
I
now.
think I will, because I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot since I want to keep my stealth.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I am happy with that.
That's good. That's a success. You can mark that on both of those 2.
Nice.
Okay. So,
Nice. My scout went up.
hell yeah.
Oh, and so did my rocky terrain.
Nice. Let's do another one.
I think my seat was jacked all the way up for some reason. Yeah, I don't know how long it's been like that because my feet weren't touching the ground, and I was like, "This isn't how you're supposed to sit."
Oh boy. All right. Yeah, no, I know that feeling. That's been me a lot lately. Okay. So, your crew managed to get in a position early in the morning. To do this, is going to require some weird coordination. Because while you're certain, from what you've encountered, at least you're pretty sure, from what you encountered of Seer, Seer is a noble, or more noble than some creature. He's not interested in gaming you all out of a hard-won victory. And frankly, he practically seems to be rooting for you all. No, but he is still a hawk, and his eyes can see for literal miles during the day. So you had to show up at the crack of dawn beforehand, while the mist was still on all the leaves before the sun began to rise, and get in a position. You've probably been here for, I'd be willing to say, 2.5 hours. Just crunched down under these shields, the mice all huddled under cloaks and doing their best to keep warm in the early morning hours. And you have been watching Dukan, who I imagine Dukan probably would have shown up a little bit later. Unless you went with them. Did you go with Sienna and her troops? Because you'd also have your war weasels with you as well.
It really depends on if Sayana wants us to be there when she's going into stealth mode, because we'd be attracting a lot of attention just with our presence.
Yeah.
I would probably request that we stagger our arrival to where you get there at least 20 minutes after us, so we're set up and already in position.
That's entirely reasonable. I feel like Giles would 100% agree to that, and would have gathered his own forces, and you guys probably all would have marched together as a column to this place, but then gone your separate waves in separate times before you got when you got close enough to navigate there without being like too far away. So you have kind of like a rally point outside to fall back to if you need to. Giles took his own forces and went towards the forest. You all know the general direction of where he's setting up the snare, and you've seen his men working all morning, using a combination of wire and rope to build what appears to be a very thin, like almost like a fish wire style, or like a fishing, I guess. I guess it'd be fishing wire. What's the word for that? God damn. Spider silk, thank you. Yeah, like a spider silk style net. Very thin, very small, basically translucent. Monofilament. That's the word I was looking for. It's near monofilament, like in terms of how invisible it is. Only occasionally the slightest catching of the light on it makes it that there is something there. And looking up higher, what looks like a sack of a spider's nest is actually just a decently well-disguised net rope ready to drop at a moment's notice. You know that Giles is in that tree with his Highlanders waiting for this to happen. So, Dukan, when you arrive, this place is dead silent, and Seer did say when the sun rises, he would be here. And as the sun crests the trees, you see him in all his terrible, monstrous glory. A falcon big enough to probably maim an adult human male in terms of size. Cresting over the trees, gliding towards you. What's your plan, folks? We're straight into combat in this one.
Seer, we have come for you.
Just bellowing as loudly as he can into the wind.
All you would hear is the high-pitched cry of a falcon come across the treetops as he tucks his wings and dives towards you. And for those of you who are wondering what that sounds like, think like what you imagine hearing an American bald eagle in every film. That's not a bald eagle. That's actually a red-tailed hawk. They just use the sound because it sounds more impressive than the slight squawking sound that eagles make, which is a cool call, but not quite as echoey. So that piercing cry echoes across the trees, and you see birds flee from the sound for miles around, shuddering off the tops of the trees like leaves as Seer dives towards you. You have maybe, at the speed he's diving, 20 seconds to plan your reaction before he will be on you.
spread out.
And I'm gonna go cresting to the highest point that I can, and I'm gonna fucking Horaloo myself through the air, like wind up, spin around, and throw my halberd with all my might, carrying myself with it.
Okay. First off, I did notice someone dropped a complication arises.
Oh, no.
Entertaining. I have 2 planned. So, nerf the bird. Perfect. Way to go. Okay.
Soul.
Okay, Soul.
Much love, buddy.
I see you, buddy.
Awesome.
So, as you dive, as you throw your hammer out, you feel an extra oomph of strength push you off the ground, almost like your legs coiled and pushed out, springing you outward, an almost serpent-like lunge of your body to propel you upwards. Maybe the vicar's giving you a little extra help that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. This is going to be a hunter roll.
Hell yeah.
Anything you want to sell me on using on this? This is the time.
Fighter.
Okay.
I'm literally throwing myself at him. I am attempting to pull off a feint, right? Because I'm not trying to fucking actually wound him with my halberd to any degree that would be like critical damage. But also, I'm not so naive as to think I could do something like that in one hit. So I am throwing my all into it so that he will buy that. That is what my aim is. But again, I'm going to twist my body at the last minute when I know those claws are going to come down, so that I have access to biting him in the talon.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So you're using fighter, you're using your weapon. So don't forget to add your weapon modifiers because this is effectively combat.
Pog.
This is an attack action, then, is what it sounds like you're doing, because you are actively trying to attack him. Cyana, given that you're trying to be sneaky, I would say this is either a feint or I would even be willing to say, probably a feint action for what you're going to be doing.
I'm okay with things.
Okay. And then finally, Giles will be doing his own rolling off table. I will be rolling it over here as needed. So then.
Hunter, fighter, and then weapon bonus is my halberd. My armor doesn't come into play here, though, because that's not
yet. Correct.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna be rolling, and the weapon bonus is only 1. Is that correct?
You're using an axe, correct?
Halberd.
Halberd. Okay, that's right. And the halberd, you choose it, I believe, as either an axe or a spear at the start of every time you come into your turn in combat. Or basically the way that mouse guard weapons work is you have to use whatever weapon you've chosen for 3 rounds. After that, you can swap out. Your halberd being both all the best parts of an axe and a spear, you get to choose whether it's an axe or a spear. Yeah, it's a versatile. So it's either a spear or an axe. You choose what it is, and it has to last that way for 3 rounds. If you go with the axe, that gives you an extra success on a successful attack, but with negative modifiers for defending or feinting. If you're going with a spear, that gives you a versus action against attacks and an independent against maneuvers. So it also gives you 1 extra die for maneuvers. So it basically means that normally with an attack, they just sort of go past each other, so you can lob two people can lob their heads off at the same time. With a spear, it's versus. One person does something or the other person does something. So it's your choice. Extra attack damage or the ability to just sort of deny.
Oh, definitely denying the imminent attack. I don't want to fucking die.
Okay, that's very fair. That's very fair. So it sounds like a spear.
Giant fucking burb.
Seer is not small. He is not small at all. Our boy be big. So okay, if that's the case, then go ahead, my friend. Make me the roll, and you don't get a positive modifier because you're making an attack action to this, but this is a versus action. So we're going to see, depending on who succeeds, by how much.
Badly blowing my dice.
Also, do you have any wises you wanted to use for this?
Weasel wise, maybe? I'm doing something kind of underhanded. I can't imagine I'm using snake wise here. I mean, well, I could make an argument for snake wise. I'm about to make an argument for snake wise. Are you ready? All
I'm
right,
ready.
prepare yourself.
I'm ready.
I had a long ass conversation with the vicar about what it means to be a snake, and I literally lived through his perspective as he killed and killed and killed his way through understanding and mastering the art of capturing the moment. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do right now.
That is perfectly fair. I'm willing to take it. Add that shit in. Make your roll. Trust me when I say you're probably gonna need it.
Okay. So no weapon bonus, but that's 3 skills. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, make your roll, sir. Then I'll make the roll with the hawk, so you can see whether or not you want to re-roll or anything.
Okay. Oh, that's 7
Okay.
ones. That's unfortunate.
All right. So looking at that, okay, yeah. Looking at that, that leaves you with 1, 2, 3, 4 successes after all said and done. There's a lot of dice in that pool, so you got 4
I'm
successes,
exploding those
of which.
D6s.
Okay, I'm exploding the 6s. Good, good, good. Okay. That 6
Okay.
keeps going. That 6 keeps going.
All right, I'll take that. Let's fucking go, baby. Hell
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
That's actually
Woo!
phenomenal. Yes, that's 4, 5, 6, 7 successes versus the Hawk, who currently, looking at this stat line, which is a pretty impressive stat line, don't get me wrong though, but holy cannoli. So our buddy here, that's 1 extra die on top of that. All right, so he is currently sitting at 9 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. So you beat him by a number of successes. Good for you making all those rolls. You do beat him, which means that you actually succeed in your attack. He does not succeed on his attack and is unable to do damage to you at all. So this does not mean he won't hit you, though. What happens is, as Seer comes in, you're not going to avoid getting grabbed. There's no way you're going to avoid getting grabbed by this guy. This is basically imagine if a Boeing 747 decided to make itself your problem on the freeway. You're not getting out of the way in time. So what you managed to do is lunge and throw yourself up at this guy, Horaloo style, as you describe, just letting your weapon guide you. And as you do, he just snags in and grabs you with his talons, and you can feel the might in his claws. As just by grabbing you, you can feel a number of your bones pop, just from like the sheer force of the grab. But your spear stabs into him at the same time, as you just sort of, as the pointy bit of your halberd sort of jams into him. And he lets loose this incredibly deep bellow that just keens across the area. And this so deep it practically becomes high pitch again, thrum of pain. He is now fluttering maybe 3 to 4 feet off the ground. And I'm going to have Giles do something that I don't think he's ever rolled before, which is going to be interesting. Giles is trying himself a feint, as is, I believe, Sienna, you are also going to be feinting as a means of hopefully avoiding being seen. So I'm going to have you make that roll for me now, and I'll be making Giles's roll on his end.
Remind me what I rolled for a feint again.
In this case, you'd be rolling your scout roll, what you rolled earlier. So,
Appreciate it.
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Neris.
Thank you very much, Neris. Appreciate that. I suspect injured will be a thing that will come up multiple times in this fight. It is not me taking a dig at my players. They are fighting a big thing. Okay, so that's pretty solid. So we have that. So that is 2 successes. And over here, Giles also himself. Well, give him a little more love. He needs more than that. Okay. So looking at him, he needs to make his... That's 1 in this case, plus also that. Okay. So making his roll over here. Good. Giles be doing good. Okay, so. And the Hawk, in the meanwhile, who is very thoroughly distracted. Very thoroughly distracted. Doesn't notice either of you two. Giles makes in the distance, you hear like a sound, like a clacking sound, as an echo comes from the forest. And he's clearly trying to lure the falcon towards him a little bit, towards where the snare is. But right now, Seer is very busy. And it's not quite enough to lure him over immediately, but you can see like Seer occasionally he sort of like inclines his head, indicating he's hearing something from over there. Whereas Santa, your cover is 100% not blown. You are still a rock covered in ivy as far as the rest of the world is concerned. So that was their round of combat. We go now to the top of the round. I will choose actions for Seer versus you all. You guys know the drill again. You choose one of the four cardinal combat actions: attack, defend, maneuver, or feint, and hide that action from me as I decide what each of you are going to get. As I put these off to the side. So I have one for Jukan, one for Sienna, and one for Red. All right. Oh, thank you so much. You guys get your choice, Fate or Persona. So in this case, all right. That feels.
That is fair.
It helps.
Helps.
Yeah. It gives them effectively rerolls, the ability to explode their own dice, even the ability to clear conditions and do a bunch of useful things. It is hella useful.
Yeah.
All right.
Woo!
So, hell yeah. Thank you. I am ready to reveal actions. So, Jukan, right now, Seer is trying to maneuver away from you. You stabbed him. He's not okay with this. He's meant to be killing you, not the other way around. So he's trying to get himself free from you. What is your declared action?
I'm using my spear
Okay.
to give him the bite.
Okay. This is an attack action, so knowing
Correct.
that...
Because if I succeed in my attack action, I deny his maneuver.
In this case, actually, it's different. It's a maneuver versus attack. It's an independent action. Normally it'd be the other way around, so it flips them.
Okay.
So in this case, you will get an attack regardless of whether Seer beats you or not.
Oh,
So
nice.
it actually worked in your favor both ways.
Nice.
So yeah, the spear is like I cannot recommend enough. Like halberds are so fucking
Halberd
good,
OP.
guys.
Jesus, I just picked it because I like halberds. Like I think they're cool, and the guy that I liked from Redwall used a halberd. So like,
Hell yeah! Like honestly, halberds are really good. Like both sides of them. Axes are just really good at killing stuff, but spears are super flexible for stuff like this. And so far, you really haven't met anything that was so dangerous it was your match. So good timing.
Yep.
Okay, you're gonna make your attack roll, and don't forget you actually do have a tincture of. I believe you have the 2 Viper Fangs dripping with venom. You're going to be ticking that box and
Okay.
using that.
sick.
It'll be used for in this instance. So that'll be an extra. In this case, I'm gonna roll a D3 because I actually have a D3 over here, and I'm gonna see what it applies as a bonus modifier. 2 extra dice to your attack.
Nice. I will take that.
In addition to any other modifiers you wish to use. Whereas the Hawk is using his great wings to do this.
Hunter, fighter, snakewise.
Okay. Very well.
Let's see the roll. Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah. If I may.
Yes. I'm going to show you the result that our friend here has very fast. As Seer makes his own action. That is so many ones. So many ones. Feels appropriate. Derek.
Not even
What
a single
happens, buddy?
success. That is fucking brilliant. Oh my god, let's fucking go. Okay. So Jukan has been wearing his heavy armor this whole time, expecting that, he's probably gonna get crunched. But at this point we see him like kind of from underneath the helm, like just his eyes like glowing with this miasmatic kind of reddish green glow. And as he like cranks down, we can hear the crunching of the bone of his helmet like snapping backwards, and then like it continues to contort, and then we realize that it's not just the helmet bones snapping, it's his own mandibles popping like down and out as the large, I guess for lack of a better term, ivory tipped fangs that have grown over his teeth for but the briefest of moment. His mind, this blur of bloodlust, he just sinks him down into the talons. And yeah, I don't know what happens from there.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right now, as I will tell the rest of the audience, I just did the math for you. You managed 15 successes, even after the 2 ones you got. Which is, for the record in chat, your average roll will have like maybe anywhere from 1 to 5 successes at peak. So, you know, casually 3 times what I would consider reasonable for any roll in this game. Whereas the Hawk not only got no successes, but 4 traitors, which are 1s on the d6 roll, which subtract from his successes. So technically, he has 4 degrees of failure to Derek's 15 degrees of success. So, as you bite your fangs down into the Falcon turns his eyes to you, and you see these bright, vibrant orange eyes that he normally has seem to flash, almost glow, as he looks down at you. There's this weird, almost like brief moment of recognition. Like he recognizes those fangs. He recognizes that bite. And he just shouts this horrifying pained shout as there's a pulse through his wings, and those same carved runes you see on the inside of his wings as he's beating them desperately against you. There's a pulse of sickly green light that goes through the deep red that normally would be etched in there, the almost blood scar red tissue. And he screams in response and pulls laterally hard towards the forest nearby. Originally, he was planning on diving and throwing you, but you've clamped your teeth into him so hard, into his leg, basically in the drumstick of his body, so tightly, he cannot shake you off. And in fact, it throws off his momentum and propels him towards the forest at like an oblique angle. He's basically tipped over so far, his wings are struggling to generate lift as he's like fluttering in that direction. Cyanna, are you still waiting and hiding, or are you going to break cover and chase after them?
I'm still waiting and hiding because I want to see if the snare gets him.
Okay. Very fair. So if that's the case, then he was making a maneuver versus what was your action?
Another feint.
Another feint? Okay, entertaining because you made a feint. He makes no maneuver, so you just get to make your roll unopposed. Because you gotta love how this system is basically rock, paper, scissors, and you choose the right action, and the other opponent's like, yeah, fuck it, go ahead.
Well, we are rock solid.
Hell, oh my god, yeah, no. You are absolutely, you succeed. Again, your troops kind of like watch, and nearby to you, Thom is also hunkered down in the testudo with you. And as he turns and sort of gives you this look, and just, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm really glad with that. Yeah, I've drawn everyone's equerries now. I'm still working on Autumn, but I'm almost done with everyone's equerries.
I love him.
Thank you. He turns over and looks at you as you can see through like the gaps in your shield wall, like this play out in front of you. And Thom turns to you and just goes, "Kind of glad he's on our side."
Boys, we are very lucky.
All right,
Just hear
lads,
the
get ready.
shriek, but it's not from the bird as it's passing by. Just
Well, we're kind of lucky.
This would almost be comical if it weren't for the absolute direness of the situation. So, entertainingly, the Falcon has chosen attack against against Giles, and Giles, I am randomly rolling his action in this instance. Giles is also opting for a feint. So, unfortunately for him, feints utterly collapse in the face of a direct attack. So, as the Falcon is steering towards the trees, its eyes glare up, and I'm going to make a roll to see if he notices him. Oh, he notices him. His eyes look up, and despite the occasional pulse of sickly green light that pulses through him, you can see from where you are, from the posture of his body, he sees Giles and his crew, but he's currently unable to really alter his trajectory. It's taking him basically everything to stay aloft, and he's kind of doing that like you ever seen someone slipping on ice? And they're barely able to maintain their verticality, but they're like pinwheeling their legs. He's basically doing that with his wings. You've taken him so far off balance, he can't help but propel himself to keep himself in the air. So he is heading towards Giles, but he sees Giles and his crew now in the Highlanders. And so if this works, it's not going to be because it was a surprise. It's going to be because they spring it on the Falcon. Okay, folks. Also, hey, Skag. Pleasure to see you on board, pal. All right, folks. Actions. Choose them now.
I have a question before I choose.
I have an answer. What's up?
Is there an action that I can take that will force the seer to move?
That would be a maneuver. Maneuver is where you are attempting to literally, well, exactly what it sounds like, outmaneuver your opponent. Position them in a way that helps you. So in this case, you'd be maneuvering the Falcon, weirdly, but you would be altering your own position through him. So that would be the best example. Literally the description, the maneuver action is used to, maneuver, gaining an advantage over your opponent. I can't think of a better choice.
Okay. I think I have my action then.
Okay. I am going to... All right. I have chosen all of Seer's actions, and I am currently choosing Giles' action. You know what? No, I'm going to roll Seer's action, because I know what Giles is going to do now that he knows that he's been made. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I'm ready when you all are.
Okay.
Yep.
Sayana, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Oh, no, you go first. Oh, I'm hoping to go last, actually.
That's what I figured. I just
Okay.
want to ask. Okay, I will try to jump onto his back and maneuver him up into where the optimal position is for Giles to spring the trap on him.
Okay. That sounds good. So, Seer has chosen to attack you wholeheartedly. Before, he was trying to get away from you. He has made that it is now abundantly clear to him that's not happening. So his only hope is to kill you before you kill him. At least that's as far as he sees it. So he is going to try to bite at you with his horrifyingly strong beak.
I hope this works out in my favor.
I do too, honestly, because this is going to be a rough one. All right, buddy, make your roll.
Okay, so Hunter.
Yep.
I'm still gonna make the argument for Snakewise, I hope. And then I don't know, Lore Weasel, maybe?
I'm going to
That's not
take...
lore, is it?
No, it would not be. You're talking about your nature. I'm
Yeah.
not letting you
Oh,
add your
nature, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not letting you add your nature to this
Because
because
nature's a different role.
it replaces all your rolls. It's basically
Yeah.
your go-to roll for if you don't have a skill.
Gotcha.
I'm also not going to let you use Snakewise for this
Okay.
because I let you use that for the lunge and for the bite.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you use that for this. What I will let you use is Poison-Wise, as he has been poisoned, and you can capitalize on that knowledge of how it might affect him to better your attack. So I'll let you take that as an advantage. You also are no longer gaining the advantage of your Viper Fangs. That is in the past. So, all right, I'm just making sure I got his pool of dice correct. And all right, I'm good to go.
Hunter, Poison-Wise, and that was it? Hunter and
That's
Poison-Wise?
it.
Okay.
Hunter Poison-Wise. It's a pretty sizable pool.
Right. Oh no, now it's my turn to fucking not do it. I might add some to this. Let me count.
That's fair. Right now, you're looking at 4 successes on Seer's point.
And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 3, which is 2. So I need 2d6 successes here, don't I?
You need at least 2 successes in order to break even. In which point, neither of you two advance your cause. You basically both just like hang out there. Okay, you're almost there.
Let's fucking go. Woo!
That's
That was all of
fucking
my persona.
insane.
Holy shit.
All right, so just so everyone out there knows, Derek just rolled a 4 and a 4, which is exactly what he needed to baseline get to like literally balance out.
This is
So
a crazy fucking session, yo.
oh my god, yeah, no. You want to know something that blew my mind? We're already 47 minutes in somehow.
Oh my
It feels
God.
like we should be like 15 minutes in. I don't know how this happened. So okay. Zukan, how do you go about your attack? What's your you're trying to like steer him towards the trap, right?
So I see him coming down with his beak to like just gore me in a single blow. And at the last moment, I shove the haft of my halberd in his mouth. And then when he like rears up, I just use that momentum to like do a little flip and like land on his back and try to like rear him upwards to like hard bank.
That's fair. Okay. So as you do that, as you like just jam this thing into his beak, and his beak is like a guillotine coming for you. The size of his beak, even compared to a weasel, he could decapitate you with one bite if he were to try. And if it weren't for that blade you stuck in his mouth, he very well likely would have. However, the bite of the Falcon Lord, his raptor's beak is quite strong, even by raptor standards. So as you use that to leverage yourself and fling yourself upwards, he wrenches downwards, and the bottom third of your halberd is bent at about a 45-degree angle as he torques the weapon. So your weapon is now
Jesus
damaged.
Christ.
That weapon is like a solid iron rod for a weasel. So he just literally like wrenches it with this horrifying shrieking sound of metal
Jesus.
as Seer honestly roars in frustration and just turns his head. And he can't turn his head fully all the way around. He's not an owl, but he can turn his head enough where he can peer you with his giant orange eye, and occasionally you can still see the veins of green pumping through them of the poison you put into his veins. And he just shouts at you, "You fight well, Weasel. It'd be a shame for you to die." And
You said no mercy.
And it's like this guttural, like almost roar that comes back, and he's just slobbering like out the bottom and like bottom half of his heavy armed helm.
you can practically hear like a deep hissing coming out of your throat as you speak, like there's something else speaking with you. And the Falcon like narrows his eye at you. "I recognize that voice." And we're gonna turn to, I believe you said you wanted to go last, Sienna, so it'd be Giles who'd be going next. Okay. Well, Giles has attempted to, at least with his roll, Giles has attempted for an attack, whereas the Falcon is going for defense. So this is a versus roll. One of the two will succeed. So we're going to be making the Falcon's roll. He's going to be using his rounded wings designed for flying through the forests and mountains. That's a pretty sizable roll. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's not really that great, but it's not terrible. It's just 3 flat successes. So that is Giles' baseline of success he requires. So, looking at that, Giles is probably, in this instance, using militarist. This feels like the proper term. He is using his strategy to outmanipulate this hawk. Likewise, I think it wouldn't be too crazy for him to be using Warwise, or in this case, not Warwise, Wild Country Wise, because he's literally using his understanding of trees and the mountains and the terrain to make this trap work. So we're looking at a total roll of all those stats together, based on Giles's stats, 11 dice.
Got this.
So here we go, Giles. I'm pulling for you, buddy. Knowing Red, he would absolutely capitalize on that shit and push further. So right now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4,
5 successes.
5 successes, 3 of which can explode. So we're going to try 3 more dice. So here we go. 3 more dice. I would like for you to move. Thank you.
No whammies, no whammies. Okay, at
No
least there wasn't
whammies.
any ones.
No
Those were
whammies.
D4s. Those were D4s, by the way.
Oh, those were D4. What? Oh, yeah, you're right. Those were D4s. Damn it. All right, let's try that again. 3d6. No whammies.
Okay, let's fucking go. Woo!
Woo! Giles is many things. Subtle is not normally one of them. But apparently, when he wants to be, Giles is in fact every bit the master tactician that his culture purports him to be. And so, as the Falcon, now contesting with this weasel on his back, which if anyone knows how bird avionics work, birds cannot have shit right on them. This is probably the real reason why Frodo didn't just hitch a ride on the fucking eagles to Mount Doom. Because if you ride on the back of an eagle, you change its entire aerodynamic profile and kill its lift dead. Which is why so many birds don't even have to hit each other to kill them. A lot of hawks will be killed by small songbirds that fly over them and just flap their wings on top of them and gutter out their flight. Which is why you'll see, like, mockingbirds and shit chase after hawks that have stolen a kid. Yeah, they're trying to kill their flight so they get themselves killed. So, Dukan, you're kind of a giant spoiler on the back of this bird at the moment.
Let's go.
And he's not okay with it.
Airfoil.
Yeah, you are literally driving him down towards the ground. Which means that, unfortunately, Seer, despite being the master of the skies, is currently being robbed of his mobility. To which Giles, you hear him shout, "But a glorious St. Bogdan! Get the bugger!" And literally, like, you see 6 mice leap off of ropes from the top of a branch, or where what looks like that spider sack was. And as the silk pulls down, you see it sort of just unfolds like this giant net, this long silvery rain of sticky netting that catches on Seer's wings, and he just screams in outrage at this as it tangles him and pulls him. And as the Highlanders are all literally just hanging on to these ropes, just trying to fall as hard as they can. And still more mice leaping off the tops of branches, bringing their own little silver tracelets of silk behind them to land on this hawk and pull it towards the ground. And as you watch from where you are, Simon, you just hear this thud as the hawk and everyone on him hits the ground at a not inconsequential speed. It's enough where you feel it in the ground like 20, 30 feet away. And you can see that while the Wolframites have succeeded in grounding our boy, but it is still a massive hawk. And even though it is on the ground, wings splayed out, trying to push itself up and pull its wings free of the sticky silk, it is, at the moment, grounded. Cyanide, it's your turn. What are you doing?
This is our moment, boys. Let's make it count. Alright, we're attacking.
Attacking. All right. Well, he chose to, against you, it was a random roll. It was a defense. So, as a result, I don't believe he even has an action against you. I just want to make absolutely certain of that. So, this would be, because you're attacking... Oh, this is actually versus. This is versus. Okay. Let's do it.
Bring it on.
Make your roll.
What can I roll for attack?
This would be for you. Let's see. As I'm looking at your stat line. In this instance, fighter. And also, you could use rocky terrain-wise as well, if you'd like. I think both of those would be good.
Use that from chat, maybe. We got that floating one from chat.
Well, let's see what Seer rolls first, just in case. You never know. Okay, so our boy, he's going on the defense. He has no modifiers to his defense because, yeah, he only has, it's all attack and maneuvering for him. Woo!
Shit.
So that's...
I have 2 die I can add.
Okay. So right now he's looking at 6 successes.
We have a floating one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. And thank you for the hydrate check. I will not hydrate.
That's all I have.
Okay. So, that'll be defense versus an attack. So that you got a total of 4 successes.
Did you count the weapon that you're using with the attack?
It's true.
Probably?
You do have an axe, which Oh, the axe. You had to choose whether you use an axe or a shield, but I suspect you would have used the axe, and the axe only adds modifiers if you succeed on the attack. So
Yeah,
it's
it's strictly
it's an
using
extra,
success.
yeah, an extra level of success.
Oh, Kieran gave us one.
Oh, oh, okay, okay.
Come on, give me a 6. Give me a 6.
No.
Damn it.
Ah, damn. All right, another.
Another.
Jeez, come on, dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a success, but that's
All
still
right.
only 5 against how many did he have?
It's against 6, so it's only a margin of failure of 1, and it's a defense. So, the way that this works, I'll let you know how it's going to be. He will successfully ward off your attack. He will not be hurting you, but you have not negatively impacted his disposition. So basically, you revealed yourself, but he hasn't capitalized on that yet. It's not like he's going to grab one of your troops and crush him or anything.
Well, I do need to make it be the last hit, and I don't know if this hit would take him out or knock him out or do significant damage.
I can very safely say he has still a lot of fight in him. He is grounded. He is
Okay.
poisoned, but he is also a Hawk Lord and big. You guys just basically think of this as like the final fight from Jurassic World against the Indominus Rex. It took like rocket-propelled grenades and a T-Rex twice and a bigger, like 3 to 5 other bigger dinosaurs to kill it. That's basically where Seer is with you guys. It's going to be a drag-out fight with him. This is round 1.
In that case, then that's fine.
Okay.
All right. He doesn't do any damage. We don't do any damage.
No, he does not. So what happens is, as you say, "All right, guys, let's make it count," and they all throw their shields up and begin charging. The shield bearers of Sina are known for their war shields, like they're all carrying shields, and these are like big Paves shields, like the big two-handed. I need 2 handles to plant this in the ground. So as they're running, they're trying to hold them over their heads, getting ready to bring them down like shovels. And as they charge across the open field, the Falcon looks at you as you're coming, and as you get within like a good couple of feet, getting to within striking range, he turns and like fly and like brings one huge wing over, and a buffet of wing lifts you, Thom, and like 3 other troops off their feet and throws you back like a good 2 to 3 feet onto the ground, like jet backwash hitting you. And he turns and you just hear this incredible howl of fury. "I'm not done yet!" And turns and slowly begins to rise onto his feet. Even though he's been tied up and his wings aren't able to gain flight, they are still clearly functional weapons. We are an hour into stream. Do you guys want to take a break?
Yeah,
I could use a break for. I could use a
for
bio
minute.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with
Yeah.
more Malgard. Back, folks. Welcome back. Thank you so very much for waiting. I surely do appreciate it. Omni, what's happening?
Oh, man. Well, you all have managed to bring the Falcon to the ground. And now you have the equally as difficult task of subduing it. It is not going to be a simple matter. As despite the fact that he is grounded, literally tied to the earth, this Falcon still rises well above you. And as he cranes himself to his full height, he's nearly like 3.5 feet tall. Which by mouse standards is fucking big. And so he plants his talons in the earth and just flaps as hard as he can. And the gust of wind blasts everyone back as Highlanders and even the 2 weasels that have accompanied you, Dukan, kind of get blown back. Everyone kind of gets rolled out into this large clearing as he's established himself a massive, effectively a blood circle around him, a threat radius around which you know he can strike. And yes, I love Burning Wheel. It's a really good system. So, we are back to determining actions. So, folks, choose your actions. Remember, for those of you who are watching, Mouse Guard has a combat system not unlike a rock, paper, scissors thing where every combatant chooses either an opponent, or in this case where it's an asymmetric one, the opponent, all of them choose an action. Depending on what the action is that you're fighting against, it determines what type of attack you can manage. So, I'm going to just put this down. So, that, and yeah. Okay. I've got all my actions selected. I'm ready when you all are.
I'm ready. You ready, Natalie?
I'm ready.
Who wants
Okay.
to go first, then?
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter. I'm defending.
Okay. It's very fair. So you're going to be defending. All right. I'm going to say Giles is 100% attacking. And Dukan, what are you doing?
So, just to be clear, there's no chance he's like going to fly off again.
Oh, no. You guys have literally, like... His wings are so gunked up. He can flap with them to generate force. He will not be able to... All his control surfaces are covered in webbing. It's going to take him many minutes of preening to get that shit out. So he's maybe able to, like, do hops, but nothing greater than that.
I attack.
Okay. Well, all right. Entertainingly, it appears as if being grounded has given Seer boldness. He is attacking for all his actions. So, against you, it is going to be a flat attack action. So, who wants to go first? I believe it will be you then, Derek.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, actually, no, it's up to you. Sayana, I
I
think
was
you
going to
said
let
you were-
Natalie go first because I'd gone first so many times last hour.
That's fair. Because I think you guys, I remember you guys saying like it didn't matter. So, Sayana, you can go ahead then, if you'd like.
That's fine.
All right. So this is a new phase of combat, as far as I'm concerned. So you can choose to either go with your shield or your mace for this part.
Shield.
Okay. Yeah, it gives you 2 extra dice to defend, so
Mhm.
probably advisable.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at this. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'm ready when you are. 3, 2, 1.
Am I rolling fighter?
Yes.
Or-
This would be fighter, and again, I can let you use rocky terrain-wise, and you add an additional 2 for your shield. So 2 extra dice for
Awesome.
that. As long as you're defending, that gives you a huge buff. And his rolls are pretty ass. So, let's see, he's 1 degree of failure, and you have 1... You have 1 degree of 3 degrees of success. So, okay.
Oh, that's fine with me.
Yeah. So as describe how do you mount your defense against such a formidable foe?
Oh, like I keep saying, we're doing the 300 thing where we just all run into a circle, put our shields up, and create a dome. That way, whether it's a gust of wind coming our way, his wings, talons, beak, we've got some type of defense surrounding us.
That's very fair. So yeah, you turn on just shields and Thumb shields, and everyone brings their shields up just in time for you to get a glimpse as Seer reaches out and just you see this gaping maw of his beak reaching towards you. And as the shields all go forward, it's like you've been hit by a falling tree. It pushes your line back, and you and the couple of mice in the front holding your shields up actually get trenched back a couple of feet. As Seer doesn't just reach out to bite, he bites and flaps his wings to get extra traction as he's trying to push you. You still manage to drive him off and deflect the blow by angling your shield wall, and he kind of just bounces off of it and strides away. But it's very much like a T-Rex trying to batter its way into a building. It sort of bounces off, and he turns around and screams something in beast speak you can't recognize. But you get the gist, which is he is both impressed and pissed. Jakan, did you wish to go next?
Do you want to have Giles go before me?
Sure, I'll have Giles go. So, Giles has had his moment for subtlety. Now is not a time for subtlety. Now is a time for the red part of this battle. And you see him and his men all produce their great blades and just charge as fast as they can in. And now we're going to be making our big dice pools. These are opposed rolls. Oh dear. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are both attack actions, which means they both resolve at the same time. So Giles and his forces all run in, and just you hear whack as dozens of blades sink into the wing of Seer as he holds one of his wings out like a shield and just takes it on the wing. And you can see blood come running down his wing as they sink into the meat beneath the feathers. Multiple blades chopping in. But to him, this is an inconvenience, not a lethal blow. And he returns by sweeping one of his talons in front of him, and you hear screams as 2 Highlander mice get caught. One gets caught by the actual talons, and the other one's caught by the blow. The one that gets caught by the blow screams until he gets rolled underneath the talon, and you hear a crunch, and the scream stops. And the other mouse, you see him get picked up, and the claw just closes. And the screaming disappears in the sound of rent metal and an uncomfortable squishing sound. And what gets thrown to the side is barely recognizable anymore, just a tattered cloak. So Giles is still not been hurt, but his troops took a hell of a blow with that one.
Poor fool.
However, he gave a little bit less better than he got, but they still both mauled each other pretty well with that attack. Dukan, buddy.
Can I use Driven in this scenario?
100% you can use Driven for this. That's some My Hero level shit, by all means.
Fantastic. So that's 1d6 additionally, right?
Yes, in this case. Yeah, because you have Driven level 1, so this would be checked.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So, whoop. It's rolling. It's thinking about it.
It is. Okay. Wow, it's a good thing his rolls have been really, all over the place tonight. Oh man, just kind of crazy. Man, I'm putting this back on the intense music. We're at that point now. So, okay. Looking at this, that's 5 ones for you, and 2 more successes. So,
Fate point.
6. So that is 3 successes over his 1 success. So these are both attack actions. So both of you two are going to be landing your blows. Dukan, you can see... God, even when Red is not here, I still cannot escape the name of your crew. Squeeb and Gremble are running beside you, running up this like slightly sloping like dirt towards the hawk. How would you chop into this guy? Describe that to me.
Okay, so Dukan is like standing kind of strangely, like he's a noodle, right? But like the upper half of his noodle seems like it's kind of hunched over in a unhealthy manner. And as they all approach where they're about to stage their next attack, he like drops down onto like all fours, just carrying his halberd like the length side along his body with the blade facing out. And he says, brothers, again, just like slobber and shit, just like pouring out of the bottom of his helmet.
Redden your blades.
And he's using his axe this time instead of the spear,
Okay.
because he said there's no worry about him trying to fly away.
Correct, yeah. Now it's just an extra success on top of what you rolled.
2 of them.
So
right?
it isn't just 3 rolls of success. It isn't just 3 degrees of success. It's 4 now.
Okay.
So it's just an extra success. No die
Got it.
modifier from it. So, as you spring at the hawk, you kind of thread the needle and glide just past him as his beak lunges out, and he does basically towards your troops what he was trying to do to Cyanna's shield bearers. You would have been the thing he bit, but you kind of just neo your
serpentine.
way past it. Yeah, you literally lunge parallel as the head comes past you. Squeeb and Grumble, on the other hand, aren't as nimble or supernaturally possessed of agility as you are. And you can see that Grumble manages to get mostly out of the way, but there's a snick and a shout as he still gets caught on the edge of the beak before it fully clamps down. And the blow is like an abdominal blow. Like, that probably shattered a rib, and it tore a rent from basically front of his chest all the way to his back. And he lands on the ground shouting and cursing in Weasel as he's grabbing what would be a very bloody wound. He is currently endowed with the injured condition for the remainder of this fight. So, but you do manage to land a pretty nasty slash on him, sort of going along that same wing that he used to defend himself, sort of trenching down one of his wings, and you can hear like a click as the axe part of your halberd, the what's left of the axe, kind of nicks against something, and you realize you hit bone briefly, and it bounced off a bone. So that gets a shout of frustration as you kind of come curling down, landing next to him, and he turns, and you see his eye narrow on you, and now he's not... It's not like that, you were fighting well, Snake. Now it's, oh no, he's fucking pissed. Now he's actually like fighting for his life, and he knows it.
Beyond him, when I when Dukan's vision temporarily focuses on Gremble, he like looks back to Seer, and again his eyes just like burning red, like he just lets out another roar. Like he has no words at this point either.
There is only one way to speak here, and it's through swords. Alrighty, folks. I believe we're on the next round of combat. I'm going to tell you right now, Seer is very close to being wounded, in terms of like the condition of being injured. So I am choosing the action for... Yes, I will choose that action for Giles. That feels appropriate. And yeah, I'm going to choose the actions for our Hawk Lord. And we are going to... I'm ready when you all are.
I attack.
Okay. It's an attack. And Cyanna, your option?
What just happened?
You
Sorry,
froze
my
for a second.
video
It's
just
gonna
got out
happen.
for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right.
I'm doing a feint.
Okay, cool.
I want to
Perfect.
dodge out of the way if he comes at us.
Okay. So, from what you can see, and by what you can see, I mean what I'm telling you, is that Seer's actions are maneuver against Dukan and his war weasels, maneuver against Sienna and her shield bearers, and he's going to press the attack against Giles, who is currently attempting to maneuver his own Highlanders. So it's basically he's maneuvering everybody except for the one unit he absolutely, managed to get a purchased attack on. So who wants to go first? Which of you three wishes to go?
Go ahead, Natalie.
Sure. So for Fates, that one was Scout, am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Natalie been
Or if
reading
you
the
want, you could
rules.
also use your for this. You could also use your mousy nature if you'd like, because this would fall under your mouse nature to sneak, and there'd be no risk if you lose. You wouldn't lose your nature; it'd just be using it because it's
True.
included in it.
That would get me more.
You would also gain rocky terrain wise because you're in rocky terrain.
Yeah, let's do
Nice.
nature
Okay.
then.
All right. And then we have the hawk. So you're trying to feint. Feint versus maneuver is entertainingly independent tests. So we'll have him do his roll.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh.
So that is you have 2
Good.
successes on your side, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 6 successes after modifier. So, what is your feint? What are you trying to do to him?
Yeah, there's no way I'd be able to.
Well, here's
like
the
I
thing.
said,
These are
we're just
independent
trying to
rolls.
kinda
Their
dodge
effects
out of the
resolve
way,
separately.
or-
Oh, I think we're having some delay.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Omni was trying to tell you something.
All right.
No, I heard him.
Are you getting me? Okay.
I
So yeah, your attacks resolve separately. So as a result, you can succeed and he can succeed because they're independent. So you both did succeed. So you're trying to do what again? One more time? Sorry.
We were just trying to kind of dodge out of the way, but if it's independent, then I think we'd like to move into a good position to strike when the moment is right.
Okay. So you do
Maybe get
what?
behind him or something.
Oh, I have an idea. Yeah. No, it's all right. You're good. So there's an old tradition of dealing with cavalry and chariots in ancient warfare, where you make a box and you basically invite chariots and horsemen to charge into the box. And then when the chariots and the horsemen get deep into the box, the horses find themselves surrounded by spears and shouting loud dudes. And anyone who knows anything about horses knows
They don't
it
like
scares the
spears
piss out of
or
horses.
shouting loud dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to make cavalry freak out and turn on themselves, or worse, chariots crumple in on themselves as horses will literally trample their riders to run back. And so, yeah, spares. So basically, you shout to your crew, and your crew do like the equivalent of making a box. And so that big circle you have splits open and opens into like a cup formation as your troops' shields still facing the hawk try to lure him into like this central like ringed position. You're trying to basically encircle him. The hawk, on the other hand, he needs to get into a better position to strike you all. He sees this as an opportunity to begin picking off your troops now that they're beginning to encircle him and not be just one solid mass. So he takes the moment he basically gives you what you're asking for. Your troops encircle him, but he gets a couple beats of his wings to get a little into the air. So he'll be able to dive down on a chunk of your unit in exchange. So you encircled him. He's going to make you pay for it probably next turn.
No, if we make him pay first.
100%. You basically are locked in this like Marvel moment of like the hawk in the air and you all on the ground 300 style getting ready to take the hit. Okay. So, Dukan or Giles?
Giles.
Okay. So,
Y'all better
Giles
save me from this.
Giles is doing his best to maneuver as well. Seeing what you're doing, he shouts to his crew, "Lads, help the lass!" And they all begin to try to file in to fill in the gap. So this is going to be a maneuver on his part. This is going to be interesting. So in this case, this would definitely be a militarist role for him. And I think in this case, Warwise would come into play. So here comes his giant pool of dice versus the Hawk, who is attacking, which is an independent attack roll. Yeah, okay. Close. So, in this instance, that is 1, 2, 3 degrees of success. Giles manages to reinforce your shield bearers with his Highlanders. Literally, they all go from being this like mob of injured troops running towards this Hawk, and they just sort of sprint past him, slide under him, Titanfall style. One even managed to get up on his wing and run over the top, which is definitely Giles showboating, and managed to leap on the other side, roll out, and they all sort of run into your formation. As they're doing that, Seer takes the opportunity to attack even further, and as one of the mice runs past his head, you can see it's almost like pecking at the ground, and it would almost be comical if it weren't for the fact that this isn't a chicken pecking at scratch, this is a falcon pecking at living creatures, and one of the mice doesn't get past. And you just hear this, and then a crunch, and then a pair of mouse legs, and no, not one of your mice, one of his mice, one of his Highlanders. You just hear a crunch, and all you see is just like a tartan cloth and a sword stick in the ground next to it, as a splatter of blood hits the ground. So another of the Highlanders gone. But the position is taken up. Your line is reinforced. You might stand a better chance against this oncoming attack. Dukan. It's your turn, buddy.
Oh, no. That's not ideal.
Okay. So the entertaining thing is this is a maneuver. So in this case, this is a versus roll. And our boy sees how dangerous you are, how horrifyingly dangerous you are. Seer has this look about him when he sees you moving, making your attacks. And he says something under his breath of serpent witchery, which you can catch in beast language. And he is trying to maneuver away from you. He does not want to deal with you until whatever weird supernatural tetanus you got up in you is out of your system. So he's attempting to maneuver away. He's rolling pretty high. So that is, how many successes did you get? Okay. So he has 4 successes, so he does manage to beat you. So describe how you would attempt to lunge at him. What would you be doing? You might be muted, I think.
Shit. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you,
No
Nurse.
problem.
Yeah, so I like snake around underneath him until I am in what Dukan believes is his blind spot, because Dukan knows that his eyes block out his nose, but what he doesn't know is that birds don't have to suffer from that.
Yeah.
And so when he just comes in with this massive uppercut swing, I guess it's just like the tiniest bit off.
Yeah, no, Seer is watching as you do this, watching your unnatural serpentine movements, and your troops honestly trying to keep pace with you. Like, Grumble grabs his blade and comes charging at this guy too, along with Squeeb. Squeeb's still fresh on his legs. Grumble's injured, but he's still making a go of it. And at this point, the Falcon's like, Weasels? I got Weasels under control. That thing, whatever that thing is that said it was a weasel, is not a weasel anymore. And he watches as you lunge, and you just feel this wave of pressure that your body almost spear-like cuts through, but the pressure wasn't meant to knock you away. It was meant to jut him clear out of the way. And so in the same motion he uses to get over Sienna and over the Highlanders is the same movement he uses to escape your lunge. And you just end up snapping at air. And he's literally like half a foot in the air above where Sienna and the Highlanders are now. So
just go whizzing past him.
He is. You guys just need one more solid hit, and he will be injured. He's like literally just like one success away from the injured state, and that will start damaging his stats.
I'm definitely gonna fucking attack again. I can go first this time, Natalie, if you want, so you can try to get the good bop in.
Go for it.
Okie dokie. I'm assuming he's. Well, I have no idea what the fucking burb is going to do.
I'm going to be just randomize this. You know what? No, I know exactly. He is still trying to not fight you. Honestly, you scare the piss out of him right now, man. Reasonably fucking so.
That makes me feel really good.
Yeah. You are literally, at the moment, empowered in part by the audience and supernatural magic of predators, the like of which Seer is not a fan of. So yeah, he's gonna try to outmaneuver you. It's the same rolls as last time, my guy. Same rolls as last time.
That is way more like it. That is what we like to see.
Holy
that is
shit.
666 in a row.
Thank
you, Satan.
Satan came in and high-fived you with both hands on that one. Wow. So I'm just doing some quick back-of-the-napkin math here. That is a total of...
He got 1 success.
That's 10 successes flat. That's 10 successes flat. Holy shit. Okay. And yeah, he got 1 success. He 100% is not able to get out of the way of whatever you're about to do to him. He is absolutely injured. So describe to me what you're doing. I'm just going to give that to you. Whatever that actually... He's not going to die, but you have...
Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Dukan is... I'll describe. Okay. So, again, just like that serpentine, like, lunge, like that temporary, like, sink into himself on the ground before he comes flying up and just goes, like, straight past him. And, like, he does, like, a couple of, like, somersaults in the air before putting his hands and feet out and, like, catching the wind, turning around, redirecting, and then just winding up, doing like one spin with the halberd and just flinging himself down with like a fucking meteor. And I want to say I'm probably hitting him in the fucking eye. Like it's too much success. I feel like we're gonna suffer from success here just a smidge. Dukan is making his mark on this owl, or fucking not owl, god damn it, this hawk.
That's fair. He is from the Owl Kingdom, so it's a fair mistake to make.
Yeah, Dukan is lost to the bloodlust though at this moment. Like he's just like completely fucking like juiced to the gills with this shit that's going on within him.
I just have the image of like you and the vicar in a gym, and the vicar being like, "Trust me, everyone uses them." Just gives you like a vial of fucking serpent venom.
Oh hell
yeah. So yeah, no, you come in on Seer, who at this point is poised to strike below him at the 2 regiments of mice who have arranged themselves in this encircled defense snare kind of thing. And this has put him in a great position to strike, but a terrible position to maneuver. And all he's able to do is flap his wings to try to go down faster, but you move quicker than he does. And there's a shk as your blade glides across his face, and you hear this pained hawk's scream across the entirety of the glade. And there's a poof of air pressure as you have managed to land a blow significant enough to penetrate what strange arcane defenses his binding has given him. And you leave a pretty savage slash down from like the crown of where his brow is all the way down his eye and down his neck. Like, it's deep enough where it's pulled feathers out. Oh, and you've rent through the metal of his helm. Oh, if he hasn't lost his eye, he's surely going to have a scar on his eye, or like the full-on anime style scar.
Yeah.
He's gonna 100% be having it.
Ducon's just shrieking the entire time.
You hear in your ears as you're doing this, just this very deep cackling with this very bubbly kind of gargle under it. You recognize the vicar is very pleased with what you're doing. So Sienna or Giles? I leave this in your hand.
Giles, please.
Okay. So Giles has chosen to maneuver. He's trying to get the hawk towards you all, towards the shield bearers. He knows if this is gonna go down, you gotta be that last bonk. So he's giving it unto you. The hawk, on the other hand, is trying for an attack. So he's going for. This is the hawk. Okay, so not that great, but not bad. That's 2 successes versus Giles and his insane fighter. In this case, it'd be militarist and warwise roll, so that'd be 12 d6. Oh yeah, Giles absolutely has got this. His troops managed to roll out of the way this time. They've seen how Seer fights now. They see his movements. They're beginning to believe. They're getting the Elden Ring roll pattern down. They're using their iframes. And so as this hawk comes down, claws snatching out, trying to grab at these troops, they roll out of the way and encircle around him, blades out to drive him towards your troops. None of the Highlanders are killed this round or injured.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So they managed their maneuver very, very carefully. Sienna, it's on you, and I'm going to tell you right now, Seer is attacking you. Straight up. Like, he knows what's coming.
I'm attacking him.
Go,
Okay.
go,
Let's do this.
Go.
Do it!
Give him the bop.
Okay, so that's gonna be fighter, rocky terrain,
Mhm.
and then I get to add my weapon after that if I'm successful.
Correct. And on top of that, also, if you wanted to use either of your abilities, Weather Sense or Natural Bearing, I would let you use that for an additional die if you'd like. It's one of your 2 traits that you have. You can check those to get just 1 extra die if you really want. Because he is currently injured now, so I'm willing to say if you manage a solid hit on him, that would be a binding strike. He's now open to being rebound.
Oh
No. Oh no.
Let's see what he rolls, because that's
Please
3 degrees of failure.
Just fail.
Oh
no.
Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 degrees of success versus your 3 degrees of failure. So, okay. Oh man, if you want to use your dice to add dice, now be the time. If anyone has,
I use them all.
okay, that is perfectly fair. Sienna, bravery and hubris are 2 sides of the same coin. They oftentimes to win battles, you must take great risk. Hey Nick, pleasure to see you. Unfortunately, not all the time does this risk pay off. And so, as you describe how you would attack, describe this action because I want to see how you do this.
I'll be at the forefront. I want Tom and Autumn to kind of hang back. I don't want them to be in the way of any casualties. I don't really want any of my men. That's just going to be me running up. I just tell them to kind of scatter, be a distraction, box them in.
That's
and
fair.
I go full force.
That's fair. So, in an almost Captain America-esque leap forward, as you bring your mace up to deliver the binding bonk to this great beast, your troops scatter around and begin running towards it. They're following their own attack, but it's a distracting attack. They're trying to draw his focus off of you. Unfortunately, in doing so, it leaves you as one of the only people charging ahead. However, while you have told Thom and Autumn to stand back, and most of their troops are as well, you see, as you leap, that Seer turns his head and just lets you sail past, and he flaps and dives, and he doesn't even really bring his beak out. It's just talons. And behind you, you hear a crunch as his full weight slams into the ground like a meteor. And while Thom and Autumn are not injured or caught, you do see 3 mice disappear under his talons and get trenched into the
kill this
ground.
bird. We're no longer friends. I'm going to kill him now.
You can see him slowly turn to look at you as his great falcon eyes, one of which is now just... it's red now with blood. You can see that wherever he's been cut, it's bleeding so thoroughly into that eye, it's just completely blood red. You can't even tell if it's been injured. It's just drowned in the incredibly heavy cut that's coating the entire right side of his body. And you can see from all the attacks that he's been taking, his right wing is hanging limply. Like, it's still on him. It's not like it's been severed, but it's very likely it's been broken or nicked. And he turns and looks at you, and you can see he is panting. And he goes, "Is this still worth it to you? You still really want this alliance? How many more men? You could just go. I wouldn't chase you. We could call it a loss. Or do you want to finish this?"
If I leave now, then those who have died would have died for nothing. We finish this now.
So be it. Next round of combat. What do you all do?
Let me go first.
Yeah, I don't want to kill him.
Okay. I'm doing the same roll as last time, but
Going.
this
All right.
time I want all 6s.
That's fair.
You hear that? Roll 20, all 6s.
Okay, so you used your weather sense the last time, I'm going to say, to boost your momentum, to sort of like leap into the wind. This time you'd be using your nature bearing to get the same advantage. He is also attacking. This is a joust, my dude. Straight up. We're going for it. So, rolling it. Okay, so that is 2 successes. 2 successes.
Okay, so he needs to fail. All ones.
You know what?
So roll.
No. That is, it's not a roll-off. These are independent actions. You both hit.
Oh, okay.
Sienna,
All right.
how
I'm
do you
gonna
do
knock
this?
his bird teeth out. Oh, it's that anime moment. I probably immediately run back out of the way once he slams himself down onto the ground. So now I've got a running start to run at him, jump into the air. I've got my weapon in both hands, pull it back, swing, and get him right across the good side of his bird face. So now he's got 2 busted eyes.
So you leap up, and in this epic mid-air moment, and you can practically see the light cresting over the trees behind you as you get in the full-on, like, Thorian swing. You bring your mace over and just whack right in the side of his jaw on the other side, right in the orbital bone. And you hear this loud crack, and then there's a boom, an echo that fills the entire glade, blasts the leaves on the trees and all the grass and all the mice nearby backwards. Even the weasels get thrown back as the magic within the mace connects. And you know in that moment you've done it. But the momentum of his wing reaches up and catches you. And you catch the full wing, his good wing, in the ribs, and it throws you. It literally just slings you a good 6 feet away. Let's see. He got 2 degrees of success. That is more than enough to give you, in this instance, the injured condition and the tired condition as
Oh.
well. He's literally knocked you so hard he has
That's
collapsed
great.
along. You land in the ground, and as you hit the ground, as the wind gets knocked out of you and you taste grass and dirt as you literally get trenched, you feel a spark at the edge of your fingertips, and you realize you have it. Whatever that binding is, it's yours. Like lightning on a leash, you have it in your grasp. You have it for a second before you might even pass out from pain. And for a moment, the entire field clears. And it's just you and the hawk standing across from each other as wind slowly rolls across a beautiful mountainside. You're maybe 70, 80 feet off the ground. And above you looms a massive, dead tree from which you can see hundreds, thousands of little ropes. And beneath them, hundreds, thousands of bony talismans, mice, weasels, foxes, wolves, owls, and falcons. And the shadow of it is cast over Seer, who's standing in front of you without a helmet. And in this dream space, you are uninjured. You are not tired. There is no pain. There is no armor or clothing. You are just a field mouse standing away across a field from a hawk. And Seer slowly looks up and sees you, and you can see his eyes now are not orange. They are blue, as they always were before the curse. And he speaks very quietly, but it carries, almost like he's right next to you, and you just hear, "I am sorry for everything."
Likewise.
Your men fought bravely. You have won. I am now yours to command. So, what am I to you? Am I to be servant? A weapon? What you say, it will determine what I will be. And he spreads his wings, and you can see the horrifying patchwork of scarring under there is slowly fading, but there's a soft blue glow under it.
I think that there has been enough bondage and servitude in these lands. The only thing I want is for you to be free.
He was bowing his head when he said that, and he slowly looks up, and his eyes flash. And there's something deep within them that you hadn't seen before, like a shimmer, almost a light, that wasn't present when you saw him first. That you didn't realize was missing, but now that you see it, it's almost heartbreaking it wasn't there in the first place. And he looks up. Free. You would set me, a predator, free in your lands?
I trust you to do the right thing.
He slowly exhales, and there's like a deep rattle to it. a shudder. And I will do my best to be worthy of this. And he flaps his wings, and what's left of the deep red scarring falls away from the underside of his wings like sand. And the shadow of the tree slowly moves on and fades into a fog. Thank you, Cyanna the Small. And slowly you fade into unconsciousness as back in the field we slowly zoom our camera out and see as Weasel and Mice gather around two fallen figures, a hawk and a mouse. And I feel like this is the perfect moment to end the session, because congratulations, you did it. Holy shit.
That was really good.
Thank you, guys.
That music had me like almost tearing up. I was like, don't cry, don't cry.
Same.
Aw, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Whew. I'm not gonna lie, not to break the tension, because I've been sitting here like gripping my jeans. I normally don't unleash big, terrifying, could kill party monsters on my players. I have a rule about that. I try not to do that too often, but I built this up long. I was like, you know what? No, we're gonna have a good fight. There were some moments where I watched the dice rolling, and I'm like, oh god, this could be so fucking bad, and just
Yeah.
oh, well done. Seriously, holy crap, guys.
Ooh, that's why we play TTRPGs right there. This session right here was just like, woo, had me feeling every type of way, bro.
Thank you guys so much. It is a privilege to run for you all. And thank you, audience, for tuning in. Truly. It means a lot that you all enjoy this fun little story of thrones and mice and kingdoms. It means a lot.
Thank you for running it, man. This is so good. I look forward to it every 2 weeks, man. It's great.
Also, straight up, you guys, you both earned 2 extra points of Fate or Persona. Take your pick.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
100%. That was literally an epic
I
moment.
need it.
Cyanna, you actually are going to be getting 3 because
Hell
that
yeah.
was... I didn't expect that. Out of all the things, I didn't expect you to do that. Your mercy more than enough to earn you an extra point of
Oh,
Persona.
yeah.
And Red and
I
Giles
didn't
has
think I
earned
was
you.
going to. I
What?
didn't think I was going to either until I was in the moment, and then I was like, oh, this is what Cyanna would do.
It's the right
Hell
thing
yeah.
to do. Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys. Derek, I relinquish control of the stream back to its master.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you again for such a spectacular session. That was utterly amazing. Had such a great time. Hell yeah, that was fantastic. It was really cool that Cyanna got to have her moment, and now has a big burb friend.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Hell yeah.
Also, I got to feel like guts. That's all I ever wanted. Chat, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the souls. As always, they are appreciated, and we love you. We appreciate you. Natalie, where can people find you? Well, I find somebody
I
for us
will
to read
be
into.
here. Oh, actually, we won't be playing this Saturday, right?
Nope.
So I won't be here until next Saturday, when we will be back to Covet. And then that following Monday, hopefully, we will be playing our Pathfinder game on Red's channel, VA Redemption or Redemption VA, one of the two on here. And then right back to Mouse Guard and Covet Syndicate.
Hell yeah.
So that's about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Natalie. Much love, much appreciated as always. Thank you for being here. Good burp kill.
Not kill, good burp save.
It counts. It's a kill count. That's a notch on your gun.
You beat the boss. You chose the Paragon option at the end,
Yep.
but you still beat the boss.
You got the notch on your gun on that one. Good job. Omni, where can people find you, buddy?
Hello, everyone. I'm the last Omnitect, your favorite robot American. You guys can catch me on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv youtube.com/thelastomnitect, all one word. I do at least 2 to 3 streams a week. This week is my 3-stream week, and I'm going to be... This is the one game I run a week on the off week, so I do world building, rule smithing, and art streams. Tomorrow is going to be one of our fun hangout streams. I call it the Breakfast Club. Bring your food, bring some coffee, something you'd like to enjoy, hang out with us as we game, relax, chat about what's going on in the TTRPG sphere. Lord knows there's enough to talk about. And on top of that, every Saturday, or every other Saturday, I have the Stellar Forge, my world-building art stream, where I do pretty much all the art you've seen in this stream is mine. I've done almost all of it, with the exception of the odd pieces of David Peterson's art, the artist who does Mouse Guard, which I have included because sometimes I think he did better than I ever can. Other than that, you guys can catch me running right now 3 games. 2 of them are on this channel. One is Mouse Guard. The second is Legacy. Legacy First Flight, which is going to be not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And that'll be at noon CST. And then finally, you can catch me on Wild Skies of Eternia every other Thursday. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday. And join us for our lighter than air Pathfinder 2e adventure. Thank you, as always. I love playing. You can find me here on this channel and on Redemption VA whenever Red runs any of his games, and I'm there. So,
yeah. Well, thank you, Omni, once again. You rule, man. Much appreciated, as always. Before I do my shout-outs, folks, you can get yourself 10% off your custom DMDM Studios dice case by going to ko-fi.com/theshadysale and using code RPGINN at checkout. They are beautiful. They hold a full set of 7 dice, and they absorb sunlight, which will then glow in the dark with pink necromantic fire. It is gorgeous. It is all yours for the low price of, I'm not sure, but they're fairly priced, and you can get 10% off. So thank you very much to Natisha. Much love, much appreciated. That was just a really good session. Yeah, so we're going to be raiding into Metwick. Metwick is great. He is one of the players in our Friday campaigns, Darker Stars. We are playing that this Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here over on DMDM Studios. No streams on Saturday. Unfortunately, my weekend plans kind of imploded, but that's going to happen. We should be back at it next Saturday with Covet and Legacy, so that'll be good. On Tuesday, I'm starting an off-stream campaign playtest for the game that I've been working on. I've been doing an insane amount of work on it lately, and I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm trying really hard to emulate the Souls-like experience on the tabletop, so I hope that it works. And then next Wednesday, you can catch us live here with Deathwatch, Kill Team Last Bastion, where our siblings of the Emperor, I should say of Kill Team Last Bastion, the titular title, are going to be setting off on their vengeance quest against those that have wronged them in the past. But that is going to be next Wednesday, so catch it live. Thank you again, Omni. Thank you, chat. We love you. We appreciate you, and I will be seeing you very soon on Friday. Bye!
Peace.